do, General Tire delivers.
It started here, and it's going to end here. Crandon is practically the center of American off-road short course racing, so it's fitting that our season will be bookended by races at this legendary circuit. Barry hopes to wrap up another championship, but he can't afford another ill-timed wreck like our last visit. Will he come out unscathed? We'll find out soon as we get ready to watch Round 10 of the 2023 General Tire National Series, and you'll see it all live here on Podium Esports. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and joining me in the booth is Michael Johnson. Behind the scenes is Cameron Aubernon on social media, and our producer is Gary Sexton, who's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Now, this track, as we take a look at it here, Michael, is certainly going to be a tricky one for our drivers. There's a mix of high speed and low speed portions. There's technical sections. There's places where it's just an all-out brawl. I think they're going to be tested.
I think nobody's going to start and end with the same paint job. There's a lot of opportunity here for trading paint, as we like to call it. So I think we're going to see, especially places like Cowboy Hairpin, right down. It's just going to get so tight. It's kind of like a backwards version of VIR's Oak Tree for people who are familiar with that. A lot of activity is going to go on there. Then you got this long sprint coming down to turn 2. Turn 3 is also going to get pretty crazy, which is called the Gravel Pit, and then Calamity Corner. Well, let's just say it's appropriately named in this 1.5 mile, 8-turn course.
Yeah, and especially when they have about 12 trucks all vying for position, it'll probably earn its nickname, that is for sure. Now, as for the championship, though, of this race, it's come down to Barry and Rafis and Swain, with Rafis and Swain actually tied for second place. They're currently roughly 20 points behind Connor Barry. It is possible to make it up, but as long as Connor doesn't have that bad of a day, he should be able to come out ahead. Swain's actually still looking for that first win so far this season. Jarrett Liebert's a bit far behind them with only 319 points. He's 100 points behind Connor Barry. He's pretty much out of this at this point. It's all down to those top 3 to try and decide it. As for today's race, this is only going to be 4 laps for those heats. So they're going to go by very, very quickly. And then the top 6 laps for those heats. Just correcting myself there. And then there's 4 laps for the last chance qualifiers. Feature is going to be 12 laps with a competition caution coming at the end of lap 5. And through the heats and LCQ, it's always the top 3 that automatically advance into the feature. Now, if you don't make it into the feature in the heats, you do have those LCQs to try and carry you on through, but you don't want to try and rely on those. That is for sure. Because the more chance that you leave up to this, Michael, the more likely that something unpredictable can happen and take you out.
Having been saved by a last chance qualifier, I can say you really don't want to rely on it, just like you were saying. I know I've been out there before and had a good run, and then something weird happens. It's just the way it is when you get on these dirt tracks. You never know exactly what's going to happen. And just watch here is, oh, nice fling through there, but didn't quite get it exactly like you wanted. Still gets a good launch out of there. But, man, you never know what's going to happen. You end up just a tiny bit off, losing by a tenth or so. That last chance qualifier can sometimes help you out and put you into that final race where you want to be.
So this is Rafis that we're seeing on screen having the provisional pole right now, and by almost 0.4 of a second over Swain, but that's just after the first lap. They get 4 laps to try and set their quickest time. And that will not necessarily set the grid, but it sets each of the heats. So you're not going to be starting with the person that's next to you on that timing tower. Just in front of him, over the hill here, I think we've got Keaton Swain trying to make up that time. And this looks like this is an off lap as he goes wide into the corner, trying to set up the launch off of it and across the timing line here. So, yep, that lap did not count for him. He starts a new flyer to see if he can take the 21 up that massive 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, just trying to fling it around here, not get too much out of control. You want to control these. These are the Pro 4 trucks. You've got drive on all 4 wheels. You can't really let it get too far around. You want that front end clawing its way through these corners. Watch as he just sticks it in there, slides, puts the hammer down, and launches himself down this straightaway. That looked like a pretty decent run there. Let's see how he finishes this one out.
Down into Potawatomi turn here. And next to the barn, this is going to be one of those critical corners. You can see how sideways they sling them into the air, and then it compresses as it comes up the hill. Long left-hand sweeper, and only 2 more corners to go as he approaches gravel pit. I'm not showing him as on a particularly quick lap right now. Sometimes the timing and scoring can be a little bit off on that, but if I'm reading this right, this is going to be another lap where he's just kind of setting himself up. Let's see. Nope, he's going to try and take it down to the bottom, so it looks like he is going to try and get a flyer in here. Let's see if he can go any faster. It's a 17.519. That's not going to do it. And in fact, Connor Berry has taken second place away from him.
Yeah, I had an eye on Connor's lap there. He was really flying. I think he had his eye on that 17.1 out of P1. Couldn't quite get it, but he had a really nice run going. Just kind of off a little bit at the end there, but we'll see how that turns out when it comes race time.
Parker Retzlaff, who's come away with a couple of the wins so far this season, has had a bit of a rough time of it just because of the fact that he was not able to show up to all the rounds. So he's not in the championship hunt, but he could play a bit of a spoiler depending on how things go in the races. And this is one of the places where he actually finished first on track in the very first race of the season, but was given a penalty and lost the win. So I'm sure he's looking to try and kind of undo that here and show that, yes, he can take that victory at this place. The 31 now coming up to Calamity Corner as he sets up for that final hairpin. Look at him right down onto the barriers. And as he crosses the line, it's going to be a 17.4. That's going to put him up into third.
Yeah, that was a nice little finish that he got there. Everything was pretty clean running through, but it wouldn't surprise me if he could put down something even a little bit quicker. He is so close to Barry's time. Connor Berry had that 17.357, and this is a 17.420. And I think he did all 4 of his laps already, so I think he is done, just out there having some fun.
Yeah, so Swain is done with his. That last one didn't count since he went off course on the previous lap. Do you see Christopher Plumley out still running with time, I think, to do one more He's got basically 2 laps left, but he must have started a bit too late. Here he is on the screen now, coming down at a cowboy hairpin, going to fling it out into that banking around the outside and try to launch off the turn as he accelerates along here, where they'll do the land rush start, where they're all going to be lined up in a row and try to siphon down into this much more narrow portion, still very wide, but you can see it gets a little bit thinner here until it finally comes back to the normal track width here through turn 3.
Yeah, it's funny watching that where it gets narrow right there at that Red Bull gantry. I see some mistakes I was making when I was playing around earlier. These guys really launch it off there and get the truck sideways in the air. They're very comfortable with how the truck's going to fly. I give these things wings, man. They just fly through the air. Look at him come through that last corner. They're nice and tight, puts down the pedal to the metal and comes flying through there. That was not a bad run for him. That puts him up into P11, I believe.
Yeah, he bumped himself up a few spots, and we've got about 10 seconds left. I don't see anybody able to complete another lap. Mikolajic is going to cross, and he does improve, though, 17.9. That puts him up to 16th. So one last change before we head off to the anthem here in just a moment. We'll get to the grid, but first up, we'll pause for our nation's song.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rugged red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Trucks are all lined up and ready to go. Our first heat and all of our heats will see the top 3 inverted according to the qualifying. So Tyson Miller will start from the pole as Keaton Swain will start in P2. It'll be Jacob Raffus in the 3rd position, followed by Zach Drapkin in the 4th spot. Cody Wieniecki begins P5, followed by Eric Whitner in 6th, and John Binder in 7th position. Just waiting for the clock to time out here before they'll get going. And remember, it is the top 3 that you want to watch out for. Everybody else will be going to the LCQ after this. But as we said, you don't really want to rely on that. And Michael, it's going to be fun watching them all try to find that one spot at the front when they try to get in line here out of Potawatomi turn.
Yeah, it's. I think a few people have nailed it when they call it argy-bargy. This is going to be a lot of putting those elbows out, trying to make some space for yourself, and hopefully not turning the other guy over, because I think then you're probably going to get a penalty out of it. So not a good way to go about. But if you're the guy who's just behind, didn't quite get the good start that you wanted, it's a good opportunity to make up some spaces.
That is a menacing sight right there, with only seven of them lined up. Now imagine it with 18 of them all ready to go here, with 2 of these lines back to back, ready to charge down across this wide open field and into the first turn. I think they've got a little bit time left before we are on our way for this one. Last race of the season. If you want to make up points, if you want to make up positions, this is going to be the time to do it. And everybody's going to be trying hard for all that they can. Of course, they obviously don't want to mess up our championship contenders, Barry, Rafis, and Swain, of which we've got 2 of them in this race. And checking to see, yes, we do have Rafis out there. For a second, I thought maybe I saw him grayed out on my timing screen, but it looks like he has indeed gridded up. So just about 30 seconds left, it looks like, and then we'll be taking off for this first race of the night, Michael.
Yeah, we are just sitting here with bated breath, ready to hear these engines just roar as they take off here. I don't know that I'd want to be these guys over here in the grass. I feel like you're not going to get as good as a launch out of it. But, hey, I've been wrong before, and I am perfectly willing to be wrong again.
Yeah, we'll see who manages to get it. I've seen them come down to the inside from all different sides. As there we go, the clock ticks down to 0. So we should start to hear the engines now start to rev as they are getting ready for the first heat. And it's a bit of a hold here. Now we're ready to go. Green flag is out. Looking for the whole shot. Rafis rather, has got a huge leap on the rest of them, but down to the very inside. Tyson Miller is better in the second phase. He's still got that inside line as they swing through the first corner, and it's still neck and neck between Miller and Rafis.
We had a little Noah's Ark going there, 2x2. Oh, we've got one out in the back, not able to hold it as they go sideways up over that jump. Now it's still Rafis out in front, trying to hold on to that lead. He was able to get his nose out there, but as we come into Cowboy Corner, oh, this is going to get exciting. Looks like we got a little bit of an over-under. Now it's the fly down that straightaway.
Rafis still has the edge. He's on the inside of Keaton Swain here. Drapkin also watching. In fact, he chucks it in. No, that's Tyson Miller, on the inside. Oh, and somebody making some contact back there. That was Drapkin with a nudge from Wieniecki, and it was John Binder earlier who had a problem coming past the barn and down into turn 3. So far, everybody's still on the circuit and right side up, though.
Everybody's got the right side up and still surprisingly clean as we look. I'm sure some of these guys are already using their peel-offs, but now we're coming down to Cowboy Corner. I think I called Gravel Pit Cowboy before. Oh, nice heavy on the brakes. Get that rear end pulled around, and now it's a launch down this long straightaway. Now, guys, as you watch as these guys come down here, this corner is really just a flick. You are still on full throttle as you're going through there. There might be a little bit of a lift to plant the nose, but not more than 10%. But right there, look at that. Come up over that jump sideways, 45 degrees through the air. Plant it. Oh, just a little bit off the wall there. I don't think that's going to affect him too much, though.
Yeah, that was Drapkin really pancaking the right-hand side. These are pretty hardy trucks, so I think he'll be okay. Behind him, a little bit of side-by-side. In fact, a nice slide job there from Eric Whitner to move himself into 5th, but it's going to be all for naught if he doesn't make a few more positions forward. Right now, Tyson Miller is the last one to advance as they sit.
Yep, Tyson Miller, last one there in the 90. Jacob Rafis still up in front. Got a tiny little gap. It's only about a half a second right there. This is super tight. Man, for somebody like him, he really needs to open this up because guess who's behind him? That's Keaton Sweet. Keaton, I think, really wants this spot. But, you know, he's got to be thinking ahead going, you know what, I got a decent gap behind me. I'm going on anyway, and no matter what, reversing the top 3, I'm in second. So second stays the same.
Well, to kind of flip that on its head, though, remember, it's these two that are tied for second in the championship. So Swain does have impetus to try to finish ahead because they do earn points here in these heat races. he's going to have to try and see if he can get over that 13 if he wants to have a bit of an edge in the feature if they both make to it, rather. But if they finish how they are, then of course they will automatically be put into that. As we check in with the onboard here, I think of Drapkin that we're watching. Yep, this is him coming down into Calamity Corner, final right-hander before they hit the start-finish line to start lap 3. And like I said before, he needs to pass Miller because Miller is sitting on the bubble.
Yep, he's got to make something happen here. Now, I think his next really good opportunity is going to be coming up right here. If he can get that rear end dug around and get the power down now and just get a beautiful launch, doesn't look like he quite got it. But this is another one of those very high-speed sections. Everything closes down on you. And as you come up to Cowboy Corner here, this is the one I was saying looks kind of like the reverse of Oak Tree at VIR for our road course fans. Man, you just got to get that rear end planted just right. I think his opponent just in front of him is getting it done a tiny bit better.
Yeah, he's kind of running away from him, which is bad news here because he's going to have to start making some improvements over the next 3 laps, which are going to go by very quickly. Up and over turn 3 once again. We saw Swain hit that outside wall before. This time looks like only a brush at most. So at least he improved upon that portion as they now head into Gravel Pit. Once again, your order is Raffis, Swain, and Miller. And it's basically been back and forth behind them when Yeki and Whitner have been trading that 5th and 6th spot repeatedly in this race.
Yeah, I've been watching that on my timing screen go back and forth and back and forth and back. Keep seeing that little red line. Oh, somebody got past. Oh, it's just those guys again. Okay. They have just been trading those back and forth through this whole race. I hope they're having fun at it and nobody's mad at anybody, but they're putting up a pretty good race.
Absolutely. Back onto the backstretch once again for Drapkin. And that one looked a little bit better as he tries to pull in Miller coming down into Cowboy Corner once again. Can often see some drivers make some hard charges into here, but nobody close enough this time to try and chuck it down the inside. They once again get the pedal to the floor, fly towards Potawatomi turn, and into the right-hander. It's still Jacob Raffis ahead, although he's only about half a second over Swain. He's not been able to run away, so this is not over, I'd say.
Swain has really been able to stick to the tail end of that truck and not let him get away. But getting away is what Swain and Raffis have been doing. Look at the gap back to Miller. That's pretty substantial. It didn't look like it so much in that shot, but watch here. You can only see the front 2 here. That is a giant gap, 2.5 seconds, 2 seconds, right in that range. Closes up when they get into braking, but it's the launch out of these corners where Raffis and Swain just seem to have that extra little edge.
Finding that speed coming off the turns down the longer straights here at this circuit. You don't often see too long of straights in most of these short courses, but this one certainly has some very, very high speed. As you can see, it drifts back down towards Canada Corner, or not Canada Corner, Cowboy Corner, wrong C word, as they chuck it into the hairpin and then out of it once more. Yeah, Swain's there or thereabouts. Can't seem to try and close it in enough that he can try and make an attack.
It seems like he's trying to close it up under braking, and I think that's going to be his missing there. Exactly what he's missing, trying to make this happen. If he focuses on the other side of the corner, getting out of it, that's going to be what's going to do it for him. He's got a good gap on Drapkin, so I think he can probably take some time to play around with it a little bit. He's also got another opportunity in the main feature.
That's true. And they're coming up to the white flag here once they exit out of Calamity Corner. Tyson Miller now a 1.5 seconds behind them. It's not looking like he's going to be able to do much to phase them unless they do tangle. But the good news for Miller is he's also still 1.5 seconds ahead of Drapkin. He's able to drop that 56. So not much of a challenge. It's basically a battle for the lead, and nobody else is anywhere near one another. Out and onto the back stretch. Is this what the 21's been looking for? It's decent. He's closer, Michael, but I don't know if this is enough.
Yeah, 4/10 just fell back to 5/10. I think Rafis just has a better launch off the corner. Although, gets up underneath them. Is it an over-under chance? Oh, a little contact. This is looking good for Miller. Miller is now licking his chops to see what he can do. Rafis fighting back. Swain still in front just as we come through this very fast right-hander. Oh, this is going to get sticky here at the end.
It's a slide job that wasn't quite a slide job, and they actually hit side to side coming off of Cowboy Hairpin. Now as they go through turn 3, heading towards Gravel Pit, will Rafis be able to give the move right back to him? You can often see over-unders. He's going to try it, slides down in front of him, but no, he can't quite make it there in time. Swain holding the outside. Now it switches back. Miller is much closer. He could try and sneak a win. It all depends on how it goes coming out of Calamity Corner and to the line. Swain is able to steal the win away as Rafis will finish second and Miller will advance from third. They were 7/10 apart at the line. Drapkin, Wieniecki, Whitner, and Binder will head to the LCQ after that one. Well, after what that didn't look all that eventful through much of the race, that suddenly got very spicy at the very end. And that takes us off into the second heat of the night now. So as they start to grid up there, it is Tom Grady on the pole. Trenton Briley will start from second position. Connor Berry starts P3. Mason Prater fourth. Felix Roy fifth. Scott Kerr in sixth position, and Simoneau in seventh. Green flag is out. No waiting time for these guys as they charge off of the land rush down towards the first corner. Already 2 trucks tangling a little bit over on the driver's left, but the first one to get there is going to be Trenton Briley.
Yeah, Trenton trying to get out in front. He's got about a 0.2 of a second lead, which at this point, as we've seen from that last race, is not enough. You need a lot more than that to be able to hold on to this. Holding on to that extra little bit out front. Let's see these guys as they stretch their legs, trying to come down into the corner. Oh, going up the inside. Smart move. May have watched that from the last race and saw how well it worked.
Yeah, Felix Roy just about managed to move himself into the lead there. He's in second, just ahead of Connor Berry, who gets bumped out of the way. Inside is a traffic jam through Calamity Corner. But Trenton Briley still holds that valuable lead, that track position, when things are getting spicy at the back. Someone was completely sideways. I think that was Tom Grady there, who is just all over the place.
Yeah, it's been a lot. There's been a ton of movement up and down the field here for everyone. Tom Grady is down 6 positions. He started off in our pole, but, it's still early in this race. Sounds weird with only a 6-lap race, but it's still early in the race. There's time for him to come back as he tries to club back up underneath. Doesn't quite make it.
Look at the runaway here from Briley and Roy. That's starting to look familiar from last race as well. So a bit of a dash off to the distance for our top 2 as Mason Prater sits in the last transfer spot, but he's got Connor Berry behind him. Not a driver I'd want there, as there was a look to the inside from Roy on Briley once again. In fact, our lead might change hands once more. There you can see them up the road, down to the inside, but Briley's going to cover him off.
Yeah, good cover there, but still trying to get this as they go to throttle up over the jump. Good positioning, trying to flick that around there, get close up to the wall so there's no chance to get over under. Back to the power across the start line, finish line, and then get that power down again. These guys are going to have a really nice battle through this.
Watching Connor Berry now. He gave a hello to Mason Prater down through Calamity Corner. Can he outgun him coming off the turn? Nope. He stopped at the apex. Won't get the momentum compared to his rival, but he's awful close. I wouldn't be shocked if he pulled his own little slide job here coming into Cowboy Hairpin. Let's see what he has up his sleeve. He goes down to the inside, moves in front of him, but the over-under goes back to Prater.
Yeah, nice defense there. He saw the writing on the wall, knew exactly what he was up to, said, hey, not going to happen. But you know what? I think he's going to try that again. Let's watch the next lap and see what happens.
And Roy did the same thing, tried to go up the inside, and Trenton Briley just outgunned him off the turn, just about making contact. You can see those top 4 on the screen right now, flying off the tabletop here down towards Gravel Pit. And there's another big move down to the inside, almost getting into Roy there. That time the slide job works, and Connor Berry moves into P3.
Yeah, nicely done. Got up underneath there, slowed the momentum of his rival. Connor Berry was able to get in there, put Mason Prater back just one position. But you know what? Turnabout's fair play. I think we might see that move happen again, just the other way around.
Well, Mason's got to be close enough. Look at the distance he's already putting between himself and the 50 truck. So Mason's going to have to make a big dive if he wants to try and return the favor. If anything, I wonder if Barry's going to try and chase down our top two.
I think Barry has the talent to do that. If we look at his lap times, he just put down his fastest lap, which was a 1:17.3. That is the fastest of the bunch. Our leader, Trenton Briley, his fastest lap was a 1:17.8, full half a second difference. This could, just as you were surmising there, could turn things around. Look how much he's closed up now. This is getting really tight. Our gap from first to third is actually only about 3/4 of a second.
Big hit to the wall there from Felix Roy. He gets away with it and carries on. Roy's in the yellow and black and red that you can see. The black and white belongs to Briley, and the black and blue is Connor Berry, your current reigning champion, hoping to seal up the championship here tonight. And again, he doesn't need a huge distance, a huge amount of points over his rivals. He can afford to lose some here as long as he just plays it so that he brings it home and gets enough. As they complete the latest lap, they're now halfway through the race and down into turn 5 here. Let's see who gets the better run. The 2 car is looking awful close to the 91.
He is right up on him, and this is a great opportunity. Watch for the slide again. See if you can get up underneath him. Nope. Good defense. Nice defense from Felix Roy there. Now we got to get that power down. Felix Roy able to keep it going. Got just a little bit better launch out of that. Able to keep in front of Connor Berry.
It's definitely making sure that he's watching those mirrors, though. Felix Roy is going to have to be careful from here. Back into turn 3. Once again, close to the outside wall, just brushing it there in that number 91. Barry's kind of showing himself down to the inside, goes back to the racing line. Is this going to be a slide job? Nope, he's going to stay behind for now.
Oh, but he's going to get close up side by side with him. Oh, a little bit of argy-bargy there as they come to the tail end of that corner. I don't think it really messed up anybody too much. These guys are still stuck to each other like glue. Tries to go up underneath. Not quite enough room to make it, though, as they go and start yet another lap.
Seems to just be able to find that little bit of overlap, but can't find the grip off the corner quite yet. Switching back around through the left-hander. What's he going to do this time? We're down to 2 laps to go. He still has some opportunities in the future, but does he really want the second place, or does he want to just bring this home since he's in a transfer spot? He wants the second place.
Underneath. I think he wants first. Look at that. That was a good move. Oh, but then doesn't get the power down properly. Just can't get the grip as he comes out of Cowboy's corner.
Just has to be careful because Mason Prater's only 0.8 of a second back. If he gets turned around, if he gets a little discombobulated, he could lose that transfer spot and have to head down to the LCQ, and it's really not what he wants in this sort of situation. As they swing it around turn 3 once again, it's still Briley leading Roy, leading Barry in your transfer spots.
Yep, trying to come once again. Look at the 3 of them. This is like a drift competition here. These guys are placing these trucks so beautifully, sliding through that dirt, finding the exact amount of grip they need, and then putting the hammer down to come out of it. But once again, trying to come up in this last corner. We've got that argy-bargy. Look at Connor Berry. Connor Berry wants that position. But you know what? Mason Prater, he is in 4th place right now. He is watching this with kind of licking his chops too, because he sees that if Roy and Barry get a little bit too argy-bargy, that's going to be a good position for him to go from 4th all the way up to 2nd.
Yeah, absolutely. Barry cannot do something foolish here. He needs to accept that a 3rd place will get him through, even if he could maybe try for that 2nd place. He doesn't do it this time. Looked a little bit more tentative, but he also wasn't much closer this time. Is this him just bringing it down to take the advancing spot?
I think he's kind of resigned to the position, but if something opens up here, now look at this. Look at this. Oh, Roy is closing in on Briley. I think there may be some desire to change up who's in first to this time, because look at this. Gets up underneath him. Can he get the power down? Can he get it down? Both of them. It's a drag race trying to get around to Calamity Corner.
Tried the slide job and it didn't quite work. Can he do it here maybe? Gives him a hello, sends him a little bit wide. This is going to be close off the final corner, but nope, he's not going to have it. Briley takes the win. Roy second, Barry third. Even closer on this one, split by only half a second between them. Prater finishing P4 with Semino, Kerr, and Grady, who are going to be heading to the LCQ pretty soon. Now we head off to the third heat of the night. And for this one, up on the pole, it's going to be Christopher Plumley. Keith Jeffrey starts in second with Parker Retzlaff in third spot. Cody Retzlaff will be next to him in fourth. Crystal King P5, Daniel Aish sixth, and Greg Johnson in seventh. As with last time, it's not going to take long for them to take off here, as they're all out on the starting grid, ready to go pretty quickly, and the green flag is out. Who's going to get the launch coming down into Potawatomi turn? It looks like they're starting to pinch together on the inside, drifting back out, trying to open it up. One of the drivers trying to pull the over-under. Plumley has the inside, but it's a good exit from Parker Retzlaff in the 31.
Yeah, Retzlaff trying to get himself, with one of the Parker Retzlaff is trying to get himself around there. He is currently in P3, just trying to get a good launch here. We've got Plumley and Jeffrey sitting out front, though. Look at these guys. Oh, we've got a little bit of a slide job. Can he make it up underneath, get the power down? No, not quite there.
Look at the exit, though. Oh, they're tangling midair, and they're going to go over. Parker Retzlaff with a roll. Can he wind up the right side up? He does, and he carries on. Gets into the side of Greg Johnson, but at least he's still moving.
Still moving. There may be some tempers flaring right now, but I gotta see this replay. This is almost like car ballet. That was beautifully done. Gets right back upright, tries to get the power down, suddenly realizes, oh wait, there's a car here. I get it. He's dizzy at this point. I don't blame him for the contact there, quite honestly.
Meanwhile, it's a battle for the lead between Plumley and Jeffrey's going to come out ahead. In fact, Plumley falls to third place. Cody Retzlaff is now the one into second place, while his brother is all the way down into sixth. Cody trying to see if he can challenge the number 88, not the driver that we were expecting to try and vie for the win in this heat. Cody really stepping up.
Yeah, Cody Retzlaff trying to hold on to this P2. He is actually looking pretty sharp for that P1 position. He's right up on Jeffrey. We are just nose to tail, but look at this. Oh, little bit of contact trying to come around this corner. Jeffrey trying to hold on to that position, puts the hammer down. Can he keep out front through this? We got some crazy corners coming up here into Calamity Corner. It's going to be a try and an over-under, but not enough room. Good coverage by Jeffrey.
Yep, still Jeffrey leading, Retzlaff second, and Plumley third. Parker Retzlaff back there in sixth place was trying to overtake on Crystal King, but couldn't seem to get underneath and pass her. So as we exit now onto the back stretch, can Jeffrey hold off these two very hungry drivers as they accelerate towards Cowboy Corner, sending it in deep to try and take care of that banking, and coming off of it, pinched to the inside. Plumley can't seem to do anything.
Now, I'm wondering if Jeffrey knows that his kids are there in the room with him as we watch his on board here. Now we're on board with Christopher Plumley, trying to hold onto this P3, sending it up sideways. We've seen these guys throw it up sideways. He's getting up on the inside, but not quite enough. Get the hammer down. Let's go. Let's see if he can try this one more time. I think we may see at least one more over-under before this race is done. We're only 2 laps in out of 6.
Yeah, we've got 2 people in this broadcast doing gymnastics tonight, apparently. So as we come down into Calamity Corner, Jeffrey still holds off Cody Retzlaff, but Plumley's looking a little bit incensed here as he gives a little bit of contact to the number 525, but does not turn him around. He stays in position. Back behind them, Parker Retzlaff has overtaken on Crystal King. He's up into 5th position, but still has to both pass Daniel Aish and Christopher Plumley to advance.
Yeah, I don't envy. This is like 2 different races. We've got the first 3 and then the last 4. It seems like that's been what's been going on in every race, every heat up to now. We've had that pack of 3 up front, and then, a little bit of argy-bargy there, sending him sideways. Doesn't change up any position, though.
I thought Parker was going to get that one, but Daniel saw it coming, gave him space, and just accelerated cleanly off the corner. As you see them continue to battle for the 4th position, Daniel holding that spot over him. And once again, into turn 3, cars bouncing as they plummet down back to earth. And, this is a good run on the inside. Parker with an excellent move down through the inside of 3. He's got to finish it here into gravel pit.
Trying to slide this thing around. We've got 3-way contact with these guys. This is a really big scrap for that P4. Watch them as they come down here, though. We're going to see a little bit more Parker Retzlaff heading up this little trio, getting the power down just in time to stay in front. But we got side by side behind him with King and Aish. King and Aish trading back and forth positions. Looks like King is going to take that position, though.
She's up to 5th now, so it's been a bad lap for Daniel Aish. Has now lost 2 of them, and Parker Retzlaff has been freed up to try and gun down Plumlee. He's got half the race to do it, 3 left to go, and he has to make up 2 seconds.
2 seconds is a lot to make up with such a short amount of time, but I wouldn't put it beyond him. Parker Retzlaff has got a good handle on the wheel here. He knows what he's doing. He can get it going, but also notice he's got some damage on that right front. I wonder if that's going to affect his overall lap times or if it's just some cosmetic damage.
Yeah, I think the big concern is whether or not he lost a little bit of drive to that corner of the car. Remember, a 4-wheel drive, you hit those sides too hard and you just brush the wall once again. You can maybe damage the drive on the car. So he's got to hope that he's still got the speed here as he sends it down in to gravel pit once again. And I'm looking at it. It's about 1.9, so it hasn't made up a whole lot here over the half a lap we've been watching. He's going to start to need more. You can see some pokes to the inside from Plumlee and Retzlaff, which will help Parker if those two do start to battle.
Yeah, if this little pack up front, we've got Cody Retzlaff and Christopher Plumlee going at it hammer and tongs here. Parker Retzlaff can make something out of this if these guys get a little bit too argy-bargy. I think they're going to be smart enough, though, to realize they can't overdo this. But that being said, we've got an attempt at a slide job over-under, getting the hammer down. It is not over. The fat lady has yet to sing.
Plumlee's trying his best. I'm sure he's not too pleased knowing he was leading this race at the start and has been stuck behind Cody for some time now while he watches Keith Jeffrey up in front of them try and take away those valuable points here. And, another big clatter into the wall by the 525. That's not the first time he's done that this race.
And looks like Parker Retzlaff has just turned the fastest lap of the race. He just turned a 17:138.
And then our leader goes over. They ran into one another. Cody Retzlaff moves into the lead. Plumlee off to the side. What in the world just happened? I turned away for 1 second.
Let's take a look here on the replay machine. Watch as they come up in here. This is an attempt to get up into the inside, get the power down. Watch them as they come up here. This is where it starts to get a little bit crazy. Throwing it into the corner, gets up inside, very tight up in there, and then bang! That looked like it was a little harder than it should have been. I would not have thought that amount of contact would have caused that.
Yeah, I think it was an attempted slide job that he didn't realize there was going to be a car there. And then also the other car didn't realize there was going to be a car to the inside either. So Cody Retzlaff inherits the lead. Parker Retzlaff inherits second. And Crystal King is now through into P3.
That's quite the mix-up here. I don't think anyone expected that, especially looking at lap times. But Parker Retzlaff, I was talking about how his lap times, he is the first one into the 16s. He just turned a 1:16.982. That's some amazing driving, especially considering that he might actually have some damage.
Keith Jeffrey is still running. Plumlee is as well, but they're outside of the transfer spots, and they got one more corner to go. Cody Retzlaff. Again, not the Retzlaff we would have anticipated taking the win. His brother gets a go, but Cody will win the heat as Parker finishes second and Crystal King advances from P3. Daniel Aish, Keith Jeffrey, Christopher Plumley and Greg Johnson will head off to the LCQs here. Now we come to the last heat of the night, heat number 4. And it's going to be Colin Murphy who starts from the pole of this one. Jarrett Liebert will begin in P2. Nicholas Dachelet will be in 3rd, and Paul Mikolajic will be P4. Dennis Mickelson starts in 5th. Sean Winkler 6th, and Cameron Magashik will be in the 7th position. Looks like we are waiting for Dachelet to get out there on the track. There he goes, pops right in, ready to take off here in just a second as the engines once again start to rev for our last heat of the night. And there's the green flag. Almost looked like Murphy may have had a bit of a jump start there. I'm not entirely sure. No, I don't see a black flag, so he is safe. But it looks like it's the number 10 of Jarrett Liebert, who has the best run, although he swings it a little wide in the first corner. Here comes Murphy in the 09. Can't get the run off the corner. They're 4 wide behind them briefly. Are they going to be able to get away with this down into turn 3? Looks like they are.
Yeah, this is a little bit, almost trying to go 3 wide through there. But right now, Jarrett Liebert is trying to open this gap up. Look at this, half a second as they go into the next corner. I'm going to call that 5 wide at that point. Those 5 right there at the end, man, that was a little bit crazy.
Liebert leads, Dachelet 2nd, Winkler 3rd as they come into Calamity Corner. Someone coming in very hot behind them. I think that was Magashik, who almost gets turned sideways. Someone up onto the K-rail. That's going to be Dennis Mickelson, who has come to a halt and has to turn it around.
Yeah, Mickelson got kind of the bad end on that one. He was trying to sneak through the inside a little bit. There was a little bit of argy-bargy on the outside he just got into the mix of it, or into the mix of the fallout from it so much. But right now, if we look back to the front, it's still Liebert out front with Dachelet 2nd, Winkler 3rd. Those are going to be, so far, our 3 advancing. But they really want to mix this up. I don't think there's any desire to leave this order the way it is. Liebert had that nice half-second lead, closed down to under a quarter second.
Yeah, Dachelet took a try at it down into Cowboy Corner, but nothing doing. The Blue Groove's starting to come in as well as the track slicks up as they fly once again into turn 3. They've also got Sean Winkler back there. We'll see if he starts to gain or if it's once again going to be a battle between the top 2. Could try something here in a gravel pit, but he decides not to. Dachelet still just kind of hanging out, although look at that exit, just pinching down much better. That's not something you see very often.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising to see that turn out the way it did. But now we come into that final corner as they go up over that little jump for the finish line, trying to start this next lap. Now on lap number 2. Is this only 2? Wow, this is only 2 laps of this race.
We still got a lot to go here, and there's a little bump from Nick on the back of Jarrett, but no harm, no foul, as once again they pick up speed down towards a Cowboy hairpin. He's awful close. He could try and do something sneaky here. In fact, he is going to try and do that slide job that we're not seeing work much, but this time it did, and he is going to be able to get one over on Jarrett Liebert.
Yeah, and that looked like there was some serious elbows out racing right there. We are about to see a favor return because I see a little bit more speed out of Liebert as we're working our way down. Watch for that slide job to happen about right. Oh, no, just a bad bounce. I thought he was going to slide right up under there. Didn't quite get the bounce he wanted off that jump.
Wonder if we could see it here in the gravel pit. We've gotten a few of them so far. One that turned them over. Here it goes. Nope. He sees it coming. He gives him the space. And that outside line just much better off the turn for Nick. Oh, but the switchback getting down to the inside into Calamity Corner. And he's covered off as Nick shuts the door on him.
Yeah, he was trying to get a nose up under there. There was some contact through that. There was a little bit of, hey, I'm here and I'm going to help push you through this, but not enough to really mess him up. So good racing on both part, getting enough into the brakes there from Liebert, but Dachelet was not having any of it, and he was able to manage that throttle to stay in that front position.
As they get ready to head back into the hairpin once again. He maybe could have tried something back on him, but decided he didn't want to do it this time. I wouldn't be surprised if that 10 does continue to try and see if he could give him a little bit of his own medicine here. But the more they do that, Sean Winkler is, in fact, catching up now. So that's really bad news for the pair of them.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a bounce I'm seeing on the nose of that number 10. When he comes off these jumps or comes in pretty hard off of something, he's got a lot of bounce happening there. So I don't think he's able to get that nose to bite just like he wants to make these slides get to work the way he wants to get in there and get up underneath and do that slide job.
Indeed, and behind them, they still have a little back and forth between Mikolajic and Magashik trying to decide 5th place. It's starting to look like that first heat all over again. And we're down to 3 laps to go now, halfway through this race. Liebert not as close as we've seen before. Maybe he saw Winkler coming up behind him, decided to cool it down, just accept the 2nd position to the finish here as they exit out of turn 8, I think it is, down into Cowboy Corner once again. Little too far back, I think, from the 10. Yeah, he's not going to be able to try it here. Now, we have an ongoing debate. I mentioned them a little bit earlier here, Michael. Those concrete barriers around the edges of some of the corners that you kind of see on like highways. Do you call those K-rails or Jersey barriers?
It depends on what part of the country I'm in. A lot of times I just tend to go with whatever the local vernacular is, but I think my default is going to be Jersey wall.
There we go. Okay, one for my camp then. To me, they've always been Jersey barriers. As we got a pass for the lead. Almost. Oh, he gets into the side of him. Turns him over. Dashley is now suddenly rolling once again, and he gets it back on the course. Winkler's into P2. Murphy is sizing him up for P3. He knows that championship position is right there, but no, he hits the inside, and we're going to take a look at the replay. Press Z or R twice, and there goes the barrel roll.
Ooh, nice recovery on that barrel roll, though. There have been some interesting rolls that I was like, oh, that's it for them. But no, look at that. Dashley comes back, holds on to P3 there, and is still sitting in P3. Now, albeit a couple seconds back. Now, we've got Winkler about a second off Liebert. Liebert is trying to open up this gap, not give anybody a chance. Only 2 laps to go here. It's time to really put the stamp on this one and say, nope, it's mine.
Man, Jarrett gave it back and then some. That was, you talk about elbows out. That was elbows and knees and every pointy bit of his body, unfortunately.
I think that was straight up jiu-jitsu on that one.
Yeah, shoving him out of the way. So the only saving grace for Dashley is that Murphy hit that inside barrier and that slowed him down. Otherwise, he would have been a real problem for Nicholas in the last few laps. Liebert has quite a gap over Winkler because of that. So will they decide to let bygones be bygones from here and just bring it to the finish line, since they both, all 3, now have a transfer spot pretty solid? There's the white flag. 1 more to go.
Yeah, 1 more to go. I was watching that Colin Murphy kind of attempt at that final corner there, trying to get up into Dashley, and I think it was a little bit overexcited and just kind of got up into the wall, not quite spatially aware enough. Got a little bit too close to the wall, maybe counting that chicken before it was hatched. But now let's watch them as they go down to Cowboys Corner. Get that flick in there. Oh, he's a little bit wider than I think he wanted to be. That's going to close up that gap and put Winkler even a little bit closer, I think. Still kind of hovering there at about a second or so. Dashley is about 1.7, 1.8 back. This looks like it's the way it's going to finish out, unless somebody makes some really egregious mistake.
Curious what this is. Oh, and Liebert just smashed the wall there. Can't believe that truck is okay after how hard he hit that. He keeps it going, so it looks like he's okay enough to make it just 2 more corners. But I'm curious to see how this is going to go when we get to the feature race as well, because as you like to say, Michael, drivers never forget. They remember, and I'm sure they're going to know when they get to the feature. But for the heats, Liebert will win. Winkler will be second. Dashley finishes third. Murphy, Mikolajic, Magashik, Mikkelsen come home in 4th through 7th and are now being lined up in the last chance qualifiers. Before we get to those, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back after this ad from our sponsors.
General Tire delivers.
Welcome back to Crandon International Raceway, the first of our LCQs. You don't make it through on this one, you're done for the season. So, without further ado, our grid is Zach Drapkin on the pole and Daniel Asian second. Cody Wieniecki starts from P3. Keith Jeffrey will start in fourth. After that, Eric Whitner is fifth, Christopher Blumley sixth, John Binder seventh, and Greg Johnson in eighth. Guys like Drapkin, Aish, Plumley, probably going to be a little bit irked, Michael, after that heat race and fired up, ready to try and make their way through into the feature.
Yeah, watch for how they're able to put the hammer down coming out of the start. I think we're going to see a really good hole shot pay off in spades as they come through this.
Looks like we might not get our last driver out there. And yes, indeed, we're going to be missing Cody Wieniecki, and I think I maybe saw a jump start from Keith Jeffrey. Oh no, things going horribly wrong for him today. He's probably not going to make it through unless something magical happens here. As through the hole shot, Zach Drapkin beats Chris Plumley with Aish in third.
Yeah, they are really trying to put this one together. This is their last chance, as you mentioned earlier. These guys have got to get up into this top three if they want to make it through to the feature race. Now, as we watch them coming up into this corner, trying to, we have got another three wide. We have a leader, three wide, and then two wide right behind that. There's a lot of opportunity for change up here. Everybody is really close.
Remember, though, main thing here is get those top three. We got another rollover. This time it is John Binder, and he's kind of almost stuck there on the barrier for a moment. He gets it going once again, and this is the sort of stuff we were talking about early in the broadcast. Coming into Calamity Corner on the first lap when everybody's binded together here, Binder finds himself on a rollover.
Yeah, that was a tough one to kind of have to deal with, but that Citrus with the kick truck kicks it right off the wall and tries to put it back into the race.
And we got a change for the lead between Plumley and Drapkin. Oh, he doesn't quite have it. Drapkin was ahead. Plumley wants it. It's a drag race as they head down into Potawatomi turn. Let's see if he can stay ahead. Over under maybe for the 56 as he ducks back underneath. They tangle and he's almost sideways off the jump. Back together now down to the inside. Eric Whitner is going to try and take that P2 away. Almost three wide for the lead down into turn three.
Yeah, Whitner really making a good push for that one. Now he's on a drag race. This is going to be a great opportunity. Look at that little argy-bargy way of contact. Now we three wide once again into this corner. Let's see how they come out of it. This is anybody's game. Everybody here wants to race one more round.
Drapkin. Oh, and now he gets it right back out of Whitner. They had a little bit of contact before, like you said, and hopefully they're done from there. It is Plumley leading Drapkin, leading Whitner, leading Aish. So Daniel Aish, the first one that is not going to go on to the final round as things sit currently, riding on board with third place.
Yeah, let's take a look. He had really good positioning there couldn't quite get the power down, although it looks like he may be closing it up. Let's watch for one of these slide maneuvers, kind of trying to hold it up underneath there as we go 3 wide and a little more contact.
And they're getting away with it this time. You'd think they wouldn't be this frantic here. They're in the top 3 again, so they really just need to get to the finish, and especially because we've lost 2 of the cars that were supposed to be in this thing, Michael. Cody Wieniecki lost connection right before the race, and for poor Keith Jeffrey, he decided to park it after he got that black flag.
Yeah, that black flag was kind of a bummer. I was trying to watch that. I couldn't tell. It looked clean to me because I saw the green flag fly and I saw him have a beautiful launch. But, you know, sometimes what we see here is a little bit off. So maybe he did jump it just a little bit. I would assume so, since he did get that black flag. But looking from underneath Drapkin's truck here, this is getting pretty crazy. Whitner is really going crazy, trying to find a way around him. Can't quite get there. But, you know, I think the dog chilling in the background is going to make all the difference for Drapkin.
Exactly. So Eric maybe not feeling all that comfortable being on the last transfer position, wants to just ensure himself a little bit more maybe. Daniel Aish in that 33 making him feel nervous, and no wonder he tries to send one up the inside. Doesn't quite work out this time. They've also got Greg Johnson. It's still honestly very close, pretty much all the way from 2nd down to 5th.
Yeah, Plumlee's pretty much checked out for now, but we've got a couple of laps left here. I wouldn't put it beyond anybody to find their way back up, especially if a mistake is made by Christopher Plumlee. Drapkin doing a nice job holding on to this position, but that 27 of Whitner trying to get up in there. I can understand why. You don't want to be in that last position with the run through. You want to secure that. So being in P2 is a better place to be. Just, man, you got to be careful. We have a 3-way battle for 2nd right now.
And in fact, it's 1 to go. So this is it. Last chances. Expect some big moves here from these drivers. Desperate to be part of the last race of the season. They don't want to be sitting and watching at the sidelines here. So who's going to make it? The 56, the 27, the 33? Or will we see maybe Greg Johnson, that 150, pull a blinder on them as they head down towards the braking into Cowboy Hairpin? Daniel's close. Are we going to be expecting one? He thinks about it, tries to get the inside. 27 is there. It's a drag race off the corner. They tangle, and it looks like Daniel has just a bit of an edge.
Daniel is just able to slide a little bit ahead. Whitner wants this back. Look at this, going up the inside, making a little bit of contact. Not enough to throw him quite out, but just enough to let him know, hey, I didn't appreciate that so much. As we come down into this final corner, we got contact again, trying to get around here.
Oh, into the wall, and unfortunately, Eric runs into the back of him, interrupting his momentum. He's down to the inside. Who's it gonna be? This is to decide who gets through into the feature. They're banging doors as they come off of the gravel pit. This is amazing stuff. Whitner now has the position. Surely Daniel's not gonna sit on his laurels as Plumlee crosses the line ahead of them, taking the last chance qualifier win. Drapkin will be 2nd, and it's Whitner who edges out Aish for 3rd.
Wow, what a run for that P3. Those guys traded, 3 times on the last lap? At least twice. I want to say it was 3. That was some exciting racing.
Amazing. Aish, Johnson, Binder, Wieniecki, and Jeffrey are going to be parked for the rest of the night. As you can see there, the celebrations with his best friend to be able to get through. Meanwhile, it's time for the last chance qualifier with Mason Prater starting on the pole. Murphy, and then it's Simino, Mikolajic, Kerr, Magashik, Grady, and Mickelson. They are off on their way down towards the hole shot. It's a very good run for Prater down to the inside. He's clear of everybody as they go 4 wide, and that's going to send Murphy sideways. Mikolajic as well, trying to bring it back together somehow. Everybody's still pointed forward.
And we got a roller. We've got one rolling. That's going to be Tom Grady going off track. I think that was Grady. Off track. No, that wasn't Grady. That was.
Yeah, that was Grady. And
wow.
3 wide down into gravel pit in the meantime. Everybody picking their own line, but coming back ahead. Prater comes out, and Murphy once again sideways. I cannot believe the craziness that we're getting here at the start of this race once again. So it is Prater, Mickelson, Semino, your advancing positions. Mika Logic, who was last after the whole shot, is now 4th.
Yeah, and Prater there, that was probably the best threading the needle I have ever seen. There was just, it was like the Red Sea opening up, parting, and he went straight through there with absolute confidence. That was a beautiful move from Prater, puts him in the lead.
That was basically 7 wide. Everybody just kind of going their own way and hoping someone comes out ahead and not on their roof out of that turn. Meanwhile, as they fly down the backstretch here, Tom Grady leads Prater leads Mickelson by 1.2 seconds, and Semino is sitting in the 3rd position. Who is going to be able to take this one away? Last time out, it got fierce for that last transfer position, and looks like Grady is back out on the circuit after he had to take a tow for rolling outside of the boundaries.
Yeah, but we still have Prater still holding onto that really nice lead out front. Now, these are the shortened. These are only 4 laps here. So he's going to hold on to this as best he can, coming around this final corner around Calamity. Gets a good little grab with that front end, puts the power down, able to go up over that start line, or that finish line, and then the whole crew coming behind. This is quite the gaggle. We've got Mickelson, Semino, Milicek, Murphy, and Kerr trying to find their way into that last position.
Absolutely. And Bryce here in that number 07, he's been known for some dramas this season, but it seemed relatively calm from this race. We'll see if it is this time around. Mika Logic down to the inside, but pinched to the bottom, just can't get the throttle down. Gives a little hello to Semino in the meantime as they accelerate away.
Yeah, look at this, trying to just find that line, just so you can see where all the trucks have been going, wearing that little patch of dirt clean through there, and everybody landing in that exact same spot. Look at these guys. This is some amazing precision. If you think about this, they're going 70, 80, 90, 100 miles an hour through this and just landing those trucks off these jumps in the exact same spot every time. But now watch as we put the power down, trying to get a little bit of advantage and not able to close it up as much as he wants. I think we're going to see some pretty daring maneuvers happen here in the next 2 laps. We have 2 to go.
And I'd say that Mika Logic is eager to try and take that position. One of my favorite paint schemes, honestly, we haven't mentioned it enough, the Pro Rogie there in the 177, trying to chase down Semino's Gator as they come off of the hairpin once again. That's a great run for Paul.
Yeah, able to get a nice run here. Can he get his nose up? Are we going to see this slide job happen? This is a good spot for it. Good defensive position, though. Get that nose around, get the power down. Not quite able to do it this time. Maybe setting it up for next time. Let's see how he's able to hold on to the tail end of this truck. Simon, though, trying to pull away here, trying to open He had a much better run out of the corner.
The white flag this time by. Got to do something soon. It's checkers or wreckers for these drivers as they exit out of turn 3. Now heading down into gravel pit once again. And you can see the wide line starting to be taken by some of these drivers as it just moves up the hill, trying to find that berm as it builds up, and they kick the dirt to the outside into Calamity Corner. There's the white flag held aloft by Barney as they cross the line. Mika Logic still needs to make up about half a second here.
Yeah, Mika Logic trying his best. He had a really good opportunity last time, didn't quite get the execution down, but if we watch this time through, he's got a very tight run out of that corner. Now we're going to go down this long straightaway and get into the Cowboys Corner. Cowboys Corner is the place this has been happening. Is he too far back? I think so, but trees in the way, can't quite see it, but nope, not quite there. This is his last chance. I think he's going to be stuck in 4th place.
Yeah, he's fallen now to 0.8 of a second behind Bryce, so unless he gets a mistake out of that 07, I'm not thinking it's looking very likely. Up at the front, after that absolutely insane start. The 50 of Mason Prater has just been cool, calm, and collected, running away from everybody as he comes around the last 2 corners. A little bit of a poke to the inside from Semino there, but he doesn't need another position. He's in third. He's going to get through, and Mason Prater will now come across the line to take the LCQ win. Mikkelsen will be second, and Bryce Semino will be the last to advance. Mikalajic, Murphy, Kerr, Magashik, Grady will get parked and won't see them again for some time until we start a new season. Well then, let's take another quick break. We'll come back after a word from our sponsors for the feature, so don't go away.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. Welcome back here. We're going to watch the last race of the season, very last feature of the 2023 General Tire National Series here at Crandon International Raceway. They're just in the last few moments of the warm-up before they start to grid up. And again, championships on the line, but drivers, Michael, will want to prove themselves.
Yeah, there may be a championship on the line, but everybody wants to win this one. There's not a single driver out there going, oh, I'll be okay with third. They might say that, but on the inside, no, they want to win this one. So I think we're going to see everybody really putting it all out there for this final race.
All Connor Berry needs is a decent finish. Doesn't even need to be ahead of his rivals by that much, as our grid sees Jarrett Liebert on the pole and Cody Retzlaff starting in second. It'll be Trenton Briley in third, followed by Keaton Swain P4, Jacob Raffis in fifth, and Felix Roy P6. And it's Parker Retzlaff starting seventh. Sean Winkler will be eighth, and Tyson Miller ninth. Connor Berry on the outside in 10th. Then on the inside of the next row, 11th will be Crystal King, Nick Dashalet 12th, Christopher Plumley in 13th, Mason Prater 14th, and Zach Drapkin 15th. Dennis Mikkelsen starts 16th, Eric Whitner 17th, and Bryce Semino last on the field in 18th position. We're just waiting on Crystal King here. And indeed, that's the last one we need to grid up. There she goes out there. Last race of the season. Who's going to be able to take home the last checkered flag of the National Series as the engines now start to rev here at Crandon International Raceway? Looking forward to this one. Looks like they waiting for the timer to tick down here. Now we're going. Now we have the engines start to rev. Jump the gun a little bit.
And the green flag is out. Everybody looks like they managed not to jump the start this time. So no black flags for this group as they come down into the hole shot. Who is going to be ahead? Who will be able to make it out the other side? As, oh my goodness, as we expected. Oh, was that Barry? That's Barry up and over.
Oh, it was a good attempt for Barry to try to get around there. Didn't make it as well as he wanted. That's going to have crazy implications for the championship.
And I think Parker Retzlaff the other one, so one of the other drivers we thought could be in it for the, not the championship, but for the win today. Jarrett Liebert leads them down into gravel pit. Dashalet's in second, Cody Retzlaff is in third, and Sean Winkler is in P4. So where are our rivals? We need to find Raffus and Swain. Oh,
yeah,
and
this
more
is
beating and banging, sorry.
Yeah, this is just some crazy argy-bargy going on here. Having this many trucks on this very tight track all at the same time is, well, exactly what we were expecting.
Swain not having a good one. He's down in 16th. Raffus is up to 4th. He could steal this championship. Now, Barry, if he can get back out within one lap down, they do waiver rounds on that competition caution, so he can get back on the lead lap, but he's going to have to make it up a lot of trucks if he does. By the end of this race and then take the win, which would be a Herculean effort. And I'm not super confident that he's got that much pace in it. So Liebert continuing to just absolutely run away. He's got 2 seconds over the rest of the field, who are still sorting out that third place back there.
Yeah, it's a gigantic battle when we're looking at P3. We've got Dashalet, Retzlaff, Raffus, Plumley, Roy, Winkler, all back there trying to get into this position. Look at that purple from Plumley. He's trying to get up, sneak it through the inside. Can't quite hold it on. He looks like he's going to be in about P4 as he comes through there. This is a crazy little group right here. Everybody is like, no, it's mine. No, it's mine. And just wanting to take it.
Felix Roy briefly was acting as a wagon for somebody who was riding the tailgate of one of these trucks, but he manages to hold on to it. Raffus just wants to get into clear air. He knows if he has a high finishing position, he could take the championship over Connor Berry at the last time of asking. He's only had one feature win this season, but Jacob has been so consistent. This is where he needs that skill the most.
Yeah, now we watch here once again at Cowboys Corner. It's not so much of that slide that people were doing earlier. We've got 12 laps to settle this thing out. Now everybody's kind of got their positions down. Let's take a look here, though, at the replay.
This is off the start, where I think we're going to watch Barry and see what exactly happened. I think just, unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time. And he kind of got fed to the outside in Potawatomi turn. He is back out on course on the lead lap for what it's worth. So when we have that competition caution, he will catch back up, and he's got his spare truck, but it's going to be hard running. So let's see.
He had this was a great move out there. It was unfortunate. He was going to make that run around the outside. He had the speed. He got out on the dirt really quickly and really was gripping beautifully here. And then that little argy-bargy on the inside, bang, right here. There it goes. Pushes it right out in front of him. He was going to go from way on the outside to be able to slide up and probably be on the podium.
That was 6 or 7 wide there, and that just doesn't work, I'm afraid. So he got on the outside and got punted, unfortunately. What is this going to be like on those final laps? Oh, my goodness. I thought this was going to be a calm finish for Connor, but no such luck. We're on lap 3. We're getting close to that first yellow. There's still a fight between Cody Retzlaff, Christopher Plumley, and Jacob Raffus. That's for the 3rd position farther up in the field.
Yeah, taking a look here. Let's watch as these guys try to go sort of a drift show around here. Putting the hammer down, get a nice little jump going up over. Now this is where it gets to be crazy. This is going to be putting the hammer down to go down that long, generally straight-ish away down to Cowboys Corner. I think we're going to start seeing a little move here. Plumley, I think, wants to move up into P3. Can he get up on the inside? Not quite enough, but a good little attempt. He's at least showing up to Retzlaff and saying, hey, look, I got some talent here, too. I think I can slide up on the inside of you as he tries once again. Not quite there.
Just no dice, and that's holding up those behind them, getting to be a bigger train. Mason Prater's joined them. Dennis Mickelson's in there. They've got Sean Winkler waiting in the wings. The more this gets backed up, the more crazy it's going to get, at least until that yellow flies. So will somebody make a move, or are they just going to stay patient knowing that everybody's going to get bunched back up anyways?
Yeah, I'm sure Liebert being out there, Dashlet as well, they are so far out front. Dashlet is about 2 seconds off of Liebert, with Retzlaff about 1.5 seconds behind him. That's a great position to be in if you're Dashlet looking to go attack Liebert. You don't have anybody right up on you, but that's all going to get reset. So those competition cautions, while they're great when you're in a position like Connor Berry is, they're not quite as fun when you're the guy out front.
Well, when that yellow flies, remember it was Liebert and Dashlet that came together before. So they're going to get nose to tail on the restart. What is that going to look like? And if you're Cody Retzlaff, you got to be thinking to yourself, oh boy, I could have the lead here by the end of this next lap.
Yeah, I think Retzlaff is going to be the catbird seat at that point, ready to just watch those two go at it and try to drive around the inside, outside, over the top, any side he can make it.
Okay, they're on lap 5. It's the end of this one. Jarrett with a monster gap, but he's going to have to give it up pretty soon. So probably not pushing this too hard. Just save those tires a little bit, as the positions have not changed between Cody, Christopher, and Jacob. It's still 3rd, 4th, and 5th, respectively, as we see them head down into Cowboy Corner once again. Rafis really likes that inside line through there, but it hasn't been giving him a spot. Maybe he's just trying to stay out of the way of those in front of him.
Yeah, Rafis looked like he was trying to make a little bit of a move, or was that no, I think that was Rafis trying to make that move up the inside. Kind of using up the tires a little bit, which is surprising with the driver, the quality of Rafis. I would have expected he kind of tried to hold back just a little bit and save it for the end of the race.
Let's remember, for Jacob, it's like 3:30, 4:30 in the morning over there right now. So, and we got a slide job in front of him as Plumley gives it a go, but no dice for now. Meanwhile, in front of them, Liebert is going to complete lap 5, and I believe that's going to mean the yellow gets thrown here. And there it is. Caution flag is out, and everybody slows now after they cross the line. Only Parker Retzlaff will have to be waved around, so we might see them park up here on the backstretch to allow him to catch back up in a moment. And Connor Berry breathes a sigh of relief because there's the first half over, but now probably heaves a big sigh because he knows this second half is going to be just climbing up a monstrous ladder.
Yeah, he'll be able to get around here, but then he's going to be all the way at the back trying to push his way through. Anybody can do it. Connor is probably there, because think about how many wins does he have this season. I think it was 4 wins already.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's more than anybody else if my quick scan here is correct. So I wouldn't put it beyond Connor to be able to pull this out, which would be quite the story to tell.
So the interesting thing on this too is that Swain is only just a couple positions in front of him. Swain's in 14th. Barry's going to line up in 17th. So there's that. It's only one other driver he needs to be concerned with. Rafis up there in 5th. I'm going to have to go to the rule book here to check the points and see what this is going to mean. And even that's not going to give the whole picture, because, of course, they had points handed out for their heats as well. But we'll try and get a feed for that. Let's see. So 3rd place will be 46 points. Rafis is in 5th. It's -2, so that'll be 42 points for Rafis. I can't do the math, unfortunately, right now for where that would put Barry in 17th, but that might be enough that Rafis would actually overtake him in the points. Remember, I think it was 19 or 18 points behind him coming into this round.
Yeah, it was 419 to 381. So that was Rafis. Swain was also
points,
at 381. So it could still be kind of tight. I don't want to do that math. I'll let the stewards do the math. I'm just gonna be the guy who sits there and drives the car or talks about the people driving the cars.
Exactly. Yeah. So apologies. That was 38 points that they were apart coming into this one. And heat races, not giving a whole lot. First is 2 points. Second is 1. Qualifying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in there. So fastest lap of the race gets 1. And then, of course, there's the whole shot bonus point. So this all gets extremely complicated, unfortunately. Hopefully it won't be too complicated by the time we get to the end, as they're looking for the restart here pretty soon. Liebert coming up to the restart zone, and he's on it now as they head past the barn and into turn 3. Liebert gets a good jump over Dashilet. He doesn't want to be anywhere near that 23.
Yeah, he really wants to pull this out. Dashilet wants to close it up, but just missed that little punch of the gas at the start. Now we're going to try for the slide job here. We've got essentially 4 wide, still coming out. Looks like Plumley tried to get up underneath in the inside there. Really looking for that third, maybe even second position. Right behind Plumley, though, we've got Jacob Raffas. Raffas trying to get it. And can he make it through here? Whoa, that is close. Plumley able to hold on to the position.
Cody Retzlaff and Dashilet still fighting for second, though, as they head over the hill into the left-hander. Looks like Nicholas is going to be able to take that position. A little bit of a poke from Cody. Nothing doing there. Behind them, Plumley watching. They go single file, but it's not going to stay this way for long, Michael. They're coming up to Cowboy Hairpin.
Yeah, expect to watch Plumley try to go up the inside again here. Ooh, just trying to hold on to it. Wow, we've got another, 2 back from that. That was going to be Prater or Roy trying to find his way up the inside. Couldn't quite do it. Everybody tries to hold position through there.
Oh, Connor was trying to get some spots and bangs door to door with Zach Drapkin. He manages to get up into 15th position here, looking for 14th as well. He's just trying to minimize that damage. I think he only needs a few positions to really make himself safe. Oh, but he's off course and into the wall.
Ooh, that is going to be our championship leader right there. He was hoping to be able to make up for that that incident on that rush to the start line on the opening lap. Let's take a look at the replay, though.
How did he get out there? Oh, maybe just a bad bounce? Yeah, looks like it. Maybe a little bit of help, and look at the frustration that he's feeling, knowing that this could be slipping away if he's not careful.
Yeah, he's still sitting back there in 17th position. Can't quite pull the way around. Tried to get around Drapkin earlier, and I think there were some words exchanged there between the two over the Discord.
Ooh, Crystal King just had a problem. Falls back down the order after she was having such a good race. As we come back live now, and you can see, oh my goodness, as that is Tyson Miller getting a little bit of the elbows from Zach Drapkin. They all fly down in, and somebody's on their lid. Is that Mickelson? Mickelson does a rollover and keeps going.
Yeah, and it looks like Plumley's going to make the best of this. Plumley's still sitting in 4th place. Had actually the pass done on Retzlaff, but couldn't quite get the power down. But now we take a look back here at Crystal King.
Sitting back in 14th position. It is utter chaos back here in the middle of the pack, that is for sure. In front of them all, there you can see leading away, Jarrett Liebert has about half a second over Dashilet, who keeps him honest back there. Liebert hasn't had a feature win yet this season. He wants to end on a high note.
Yeah, Liebert sitting there, got a nice little cushion behind him. Not too much, not really pulling out too far. It's probably trying to save some tires just a little bit. But I think Dashilet is really pushing hard to close this up. And Dashilet has got Retzlaff and Plumley right behind, trying to make a little news of their own.
Coming down into the corner. Ooh, and behind them, there's a big move and a successful slide job from Christopher Plumley to put him into 3rd over Cody Retzlaff.
Yeah, it's fifth or sixth time is the charm. They tried that several times getting through there.
But behind them, watch out, it's Raffas and Prater kind of give and watch. Here comes Cody down to the inside of turn 3. He gets a nose in. Can he outgun him off the corner? Just a little nudge to the outside. It's a drag race now.
Yeah, they are going at this hammer and tongs. It's just by the nose. It looks like Plumley's going to be there. Oh, but then they get into the corner. What's going to happen here? This is a little bit of interesting over-under. This is what we've been seeing from Raffas. Raffas has been trying to get up through there. Cody Retzlaff takes over P3 or takes back P3. Plumley back to fourth. Jacob Raffus holding on to P5 there.
Scandinavian really wants to try and get his nose in. Thought that was his opportunity. Didn't pan out, but he's still attacking on Plumley where he can. Can he maybe switch back here? Looks like it just needs the good exit. No, he gets nudged off.
Yeah, a little bit of a nudge there at the just after the apex of the corner. I think he's trying to do exactly what Plumley did to Retzlaff. So let's watch. Plumley gets deep up inside, tries to put the hammer down, gets a little bit of contact with Retzlaff. Now it's a drag race, 3 wide, pushing off. Into the outside. That's going to put Raffus out into the grass there, trying to now get back to a recovery position. But Roy gets around the outside.
Felix Roy just blasting past all of them into fifth. It also cost Prater a couple positions. That just caused chaos there, that one little hiccup along the straightaway. Meanwhile, the lead has been extremely close. Dashalet has got it down to 0.2 of a second. It's going to be 2 to go this time by. And how is this going to finish out? They want to see clean racing here. They don't want to see this become too much of a brawl, but I can't imagine this is going to stay too civil up here.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think we've got Dashalet really looking for this win. We got a big gap, 4 seconds back to Retzlaff. So it's all down to Dashalet and Liebert just going at it and seeing which one of these two is going to be able to get up on the inside as we watch them head down here. This is going to be our first attempt. Watch this as they come up here. Watch for that slide job to try to come up the inside. Is he going to get in there? Just a little bit side by side. Half of an overlap there. Not quite enough to make it happen. Now it's once again the drag race as we come down into this long right-hander and then over the jump. Let's watch what happens here. I think we might see something as they come over the jump, though, as Dashalet looks like he's trying to close this up.
He wants to desperately, always very wide into the corner. He's trying to carry that momentum. 2 different lines between them, but a better exit from Dashalet, and he's going to have the speed, but they're coming up to the white flag. Opportunities are dwindling as he gives a little hello, just the tiny rub there on the fender of the number 10 to let him know he's there.
Yep, leaves the inside open, though. That's dangerous.
Oh.
Look at that. The 23 is able to get up underneath the 10, trying to put the hammer down. Little argy-bargy. Are they? Oh, he takes the position back. That puts Liebert back in front. Dashalet just for moments had the lead. Couldn't quite hold on to it.
What a chess match this has become. The over-under between them, just amazing stuff. And now Liebert back to the lead, but Dashalet is in position. He's close enough. Surely he's going to try and chuck that truck down into Cowboy Hairpin. What can he do here, though? Will he shove him out of the way? Yes, he will. In fact, up on 2 wheels, he's going to be able to keep the bicycle on the earth. And Jarrett Liebert takes off, but he's way behind Dashalet.
That is definitely a full contact chess match right there. But Dashalet holding on to this lead now has about 0.8 of a second over Liebert. Liebert still has a good gap over Retzlaff, so he's going to be able to try a couple of different things to work his way back up to close in this gap. But man, it's going to be a tough one because Dashalet has been putting down some flyers. Best lap so far, about 0.2 faster in favor of Dashalet.
I think he tried a slide job there, and it was not happening. He came from a long ways back as Dashalet is ahead of him, and Liebert is sounding incensed on the radio, but Nicholas has managed to take the win as he comes across the line. Liebert will be second, and Cody Retzlaff will wind up in third. Raffus across the line, super tight between himself and Briley, but he winds up 7th. And Barry is 11th. I think that's enough for Connor to hold on to the points lead. We'll try and get confirmation on that in a bit. Looks like he's having to do the math a bit himself on that one. Curious as well if the stewards are going to take a look at the move on that, because this is the course at the very start of the season, speaking of bookending, Michael, where they had to take the win away from Parker Retzlaff. Will Nick discover the same fate?
It'll be interesting. That was a bit of a difficult hit. I mean, he did put him up on 2 wheels, commented about, puts the bicycle back on earth. But, man, that, I don't know. I would hate to be the stewards in that position because it's a hard call to make. but I'm sure the stewards will anguish over that for quite a bit, and then we'll get the final results. But I don't think we're going to see them anytime in the next few minutes.
Well, here we have the provisional results, and Nicholas Dachelet takes the final win of the season as Jarrett Liebert, our pole sitter, has to accept second place. It was Cody Retzlaff in third as Christopher Plumley finishes P4, and Felix Roy was fifth, and it's Trenton Briley who finishes P6. Jacob Raffis was seventh today. Parker Retzlaff eighth, and Keaton Swain ninth. Mason Prater rounds out your top 10. Connor Berry, getting the worst of the stick all race long in the feature, somehow climbs back up to 11th. We are not sure if he is champion or not, but I'm thinking that should be enough to clinch it. Sean Winkler was 12th, Dennis Mickelson 13th, and Tyson Miller 14th, and it's Bryce Semino P15, Eric Whitner 16th, and Crystal King 17th. Drapkin wound up a lap down in 18th. We'll be back after a short break with driver interviews. Hopefully we'll get confirmation on the finishing order, so stick around.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
Welcome back to Crandon International Raceway. We just saw the last race of the 2023 General Tire National Series, and we're going to talk to our provisional winner, Nicholas Dachelet, here after what seemed like a personal battle down there for the win, and it started in the heat race, essentially, as we're going to pull him up in just a moment to have a chat with that number 23. And we've got him here with us. Nicholas, congratulations on the win. It sounded like that was getting pretty heated all throughout the night, though. We saw you and Jarrett having some toe-to-toe fighting there in the heat, and we kind of figured it would carry on into the feature. What was your take on all that?
Yeah, the heat race, it was a good run there. I had a little incident with Jarrett there in the heat race. And Cowboy, he went to protect and left it open. Didn't mean to get him up on the bike there. It was wheel-to-wheel contact, and it just does that in iRacing. But it's just hard racing. That's all it was.
That's understandable. And I got to tell you, we were enjoying it up here. It seemed like quite a bit of chaos even at the start of the race, though. Were you glad to be able to kind of get ahead of it all? Because behind you was just utter chaos.
Yeah, I caught pretty lucky there at the start, and after halfway there, those guys started battling behind me, and then I was able to reel in Jarrett there at the end. Yeah, it was fun though. Fun chasing down Jarrett and battling with him the last lap.
Well, you ended the season on a win finally. I'm sure you're glad to have that duck off your back, but can you carry this momentum off into next season?
Oh, I sure hope so. This is my first ever win on the sim, so this feels pretty good. So hopefully we can carry it on into next season.
Well, congratulations on that victory, and we can't wait to see you next time we're back on the air.
Yeah, thank you guys, and I just want to thank Factory Sim Sport, Legion Speed Sport, Plum, Keaton, Crystal, Tom, Terry, Tyson, all the guys over there. Say hi to my family, and thank you guys for putting on. Thank you to Connor, General Tire. It was fun. See you guys next season.
Thank you. So Nicholas Dachelet, our winner here, and I believe we've got third place ready to talk to us from the feature, Cody Retzlaff. So Michael has caught up with the 525.
Indeed, I have. So, Cody, quite a race there. There was a lot of back and forth, jumping positions, falling back. Was there any version in your head that played out like this race did?
No, honestly, it was pretty crazy. All season, I struggled with starts and then not making it through the first lap. So I focused on getting a good start, making it through the first lap, and then just took it from there.
Well, speaking of start, you started out in P2 and you finished P3 with the crazy start we had. Just making out of that alive had to be quite a feat. Did you have much of an issue on the start on this race?
I didn't. I came out of the first corner and then I seen in my mirror that there was chaos, so it was a big sigh of relief that I made it through there unscathed.
So I think there's a bit more purple on your truck than when you started the race because you and Plumley were really going at it. How did that play out through the race for you?
I mean, yeah, Plumlee's a good racer, and it was a good battle. I mean, we shared paint throughout the race, so it was fun.
Yeah, it looked like you had a really good time out there. Thanks for coming to the booth talk to us. Congratulations on your P3. Who do you have to thank for it today?
Everybody at Team Rogue, Parker, Jarrett for the fast truck to get us here, Dennis, Nicholas, Clutch. I think that's all I can think of right now.
Cool. Well, that's a good list. Lots of people to thank. And thank you for being here. And with that, I'm going to send it back to Joe.
Indeed. We've got Jacob Raffis, who will wind up second in the championship, actually tied with Swain on points and beats him out since he had a feature win and Swain did not. But let's talk about this race particularly here, Jacob, because you started out literally smack dab in the middle of all that craziness there in the first corner. Were you just sending a prayer up to the dirt gods that you make it out the other end?
Yeah, I was just focusing on getting up there and not getting wrecked and be careful and stuff. But yeah, Swain was going really fast at the end there, so yeah, I was a bit afraid there for a sec.
The other thing is you were coming into this 38 points. It was a bit of a long shot to be able to overtake Barry. Were you aware that he got turned over in that first turn? And did that change how you drove from there?
Yeah, I kind of hit him and Felix a little bit, so I got swapped down. So, but that was a little bit better in my point because I could go under them and get to the front, and yeah, there it was.
In the end, you couldn't quite make up enough to keep him behind. But still, you got to be pretty proud coming into this and coming in second with the amount of skill that's out here in this series. Are you going to come back for the next national series when it returns?
I will for sure come back, no doubt.
Well, we are looking forward to seeing you because you put on some thrilling runs out here. Anybody you want to thank before we head off for the end of the season?
Yeah, Sim Magic, simracing.no, and Herman Arete, and Next Level Racing, and Nitro Circus. racing team.
That was Jacob Raffis, who finished 7th today, but 2nd in the points in the end, as it looks like. Did we already talk to Jarrett Liebert? I thought we had already talked to Jarrett, but I guess we did not. So looks like Michael is going to be having a conversation with the other end of that battle that we had for the lead.
Well, Jarrett, thanks for coming to talk to it. Well, Jarrett, there we go. Jarrett, hi. Thanks for coming to talk to us. I gotta say, that whole shot, when you took off on the start, that was mightily impressive. You got out in front, put your elbows out a little bit, and then just decided, nope, this lead is mine. How long did you think you were going to be able to hold on to that lead, and what was kind of the turning point for you?
I felt like we were the fastest truck by a mile. Like, I just felt like I was making a lot of mistakes. I got a good start, did everything I felt like I needed to do, just making a tiny few mistakes. I thought I was going to be raced fair, like I always am. Like Keaton, Connor, Jacob, they always race very, very fair. Got wrecked by the same guy that's wrecked me in probably, I'd say, 6 races in the last month and a half.
So
Apparently
what do you
apparently I can't
see
say
as
his
what
name.
happened there? Going into Cowboy, he was a couple of tenths back. You go in there, you defend the inside. Where did it actually go wrong in your eyes?
I defended, and like I said, I'm currently getting messaged by 2 people, both in the series, saying that's something that I cannot say on a broadcast. Not teammates either. So definitely not like I'm the first person. But I guess I if you don't really have anything good to say about the person, there's no really point. I felt like I raced him clean. I got into him in the heat, had net code contact. Then we went into the whatever corner that is. I'm not familiar with this stuff. I'm not even good at this stuff. It just so happens I test. Whoop-de-doo, I'm up front. And I just got drove into by the same exact way he's driven into me for the past 2 months. Driven into Connor the same way, driven into my teammates the same way, driven into the entire league this way. Everybody I've ever talked to wants him to go over the berm every single week. No difference. Yet, nobody ever does because we'll get a penalty. So it's like, I'll probably get a penalty for the heat race. I didn't feel like it was that much my fault. My teammates didn't think it was my fault. It was just weird netcode contact. I don't know. I'm happy with the day either way. I P2 in this. My eNASCAR guys that I built the set for, my guy that I spot for just finished 2nd at Bristol. So overall, a good night. Just really disappointed with the way I've been raced by a certain person all year. It's sad that I've started doing this in January and February, and I'm already better than him. Finished in front of him in points, but is what it is.
Well, it was a good race. You really were showing just how much talent you have. You were able to hold on way out front for quite a long time. A couple of mistakes happen, easy to happen with dirt because the surface changes so much, and it from lap to lap even it changes. You might have had grip in one spot that suddenly you didn't. What was the biggest spot where when you had this almost 2-second lead that suddenly closed things up on you? Was there a specific mistake, or was it just a series of little mistakes?
I had a 2-second lead the first half, and then the yellow came out, and that really shrunk down the original lead. I was probably pretty fine if that yellow hadn't happened, but at the same time, sometimes you're really happy those yellows come out, like Wild West flipping. So it's like, and then being able to come back 8 spots, that really helped there. It's give and take with the yellow, but the second
Well, you
half,
had a really, really good start off that yellow.
Yeah.
We saw and commented how you really opened up a gap very quickly going over the jump there. It's like you timed it to absolute perfection and caught him sleeping a little bit.
Thank you. It really just came down to, like, I didn't even know what the restart zone was at all. I literally put up the series chat in our Discord right as we were under yellow stop there. Like, I didn't even really know because I didn't think I was going to be in that position really. But it really just came down to, like, I didn't want to go early. He'd predict that. And I didn't want to go very, very light. He'd predict that. So it's like I kind of just went in the middle, right between the 2 jumps. And I think that really helped. And just tiny mistakes, I'd say. mainly in the big floater jump. Made a lot of mistakes there, but even then, I I I always felt like we were racing really, really clean. But he made sure that he did it on the last lap, so there was no way I could do it back. So that's an interesting way to do it. But hey, to each their own, you know.
Well, a good race overall. It was a pleasure watching you. Who do you have to thank for today's podium?
Thank you guys. I have to thank everyone at Team Rogue, Parker, Dennis, Nick, Cody. Congrats to him on the third. Really big point today for him. Got to thank everyone on the NASCAR side that tunes into this, all my friends. You guys for putting on the broadcast. Everyone at Podium, Gary, James Pike, I know used to be over there. Everyone that's over there. Joe, you for commentating. Michael, the other commentators a few weeks ago. It's been a really fun series. I wish I could have capped it off how I would have liked, but you know, not everything can go the way that you want, especially with certain people. So, is what it is.
Yeah, racing is what it is, and having been on the race course for decades now, I can tell you it's probably not the last time that a race will end up like that. But with that, I'm going to hand it back to Joe. Jarrett, thank you for being here in the booth with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
That was Jarrett Liebert, who finished second here today, which is going to wrap us up. And we want to give a big thank you to the organizers at the General Tire National Series, and a huge thanks to our team tonight, Michael, Gary, Cam, and Dougie. Also, none of this is possible without those behind the scenes at Podium Esports, Ryan Bauer, Gary Sexton, and John Theodore. Thank you so much for watching tonight's broadcast of the General Tire National Series. I'm Joe Peak, and I'll see you on the track.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.